class, such as jobs, or have caused pretty serious problems for the local communities.
That was Gabriel Dance, Senior Deputy Investigations Editor at the New York Times. Daniel Shin produced this episode. I'm Lily Jamali, and that's Marketplace Tech. This is APM.
KSJE is supported by the Family Crisis Center, presenting an important conference about human trafficking, Wednesday, May 29th at the Farmington Civic Center. The conference is free. The goals of the conference are to bring awareness to the community about sex and labor trafficking, identify significant indicators of human trafficking, and provide help for those who may have experienced trafficking. Law enforcement, counseling, social work, nursing, or those in the legal field are encouraged to attend. Find out more at FamilyCrisisCenterNM.org. KSJE is supported by the River Reach Foundation, presenting Riverfest this Memorial Day weekend in Farmington. Music, crafts, food, and more can be found along the Animas River trails in Farmington. Riverfest kicks off Friday afternoon, May 24th, and continues Saturday and Sunday. Celebrate the rivers in Farmington with this jolt-worthy event. Find out more online at riverfestnewmexico.com. Riverfest, presented by the River Reach Foundation. Joining me in Studio A, one of the candidates running for New Mexico House District 4. There are 3 Democrats running in the primary coming up in June, of course. Christina Aspaas is in Studio A with me this morning to talk a little bit about the race. And thank you for coming in, and thank you for agreeing to speak with me about some of the issues in this race. And District 4 makes up a large part of the northwestern part of San Juan County, I would say. And so what are some of the things that made you want to run for this seat in the state legislature?
First of all, I'm currently a board member on Central Consolidated School District.
Right.
And just seeing over the years, at first it was just speculated and on some of the impacts that were going to occur, and now we're seeing it live, and it's being carried out. And because of that, and because it affects not just the Navajo students, but my community, which goes into Kirtland, and it has really, I'm a voice on as far as the board. When I go to Albuquerque conferences for New Mexico School Board Association, and I'm a voice, I'm vocal, and I get up there, and it's no big surprise when people hear that we need to have a balance in this energy transition. And right now, I think my Navajo children, my community, we're the sacrifice.
Got you. So when you talk about the impacts that you are seeing, you're talking about funding and how that comes to the school district because you're a member of the school board, so perhaps by serving at the state legislature, you can do something about that or help some of these areas?
Right. And I think representation before, we've tried to invite and bring our local representative, and get him up to speed, with some of these. Again, it was speculated, but now it's here, but we never had the opportunity to speak to that representative, and so I finally said, I'm done. I'm going to run, and this is my second chance at it.
Okay.
And so and it's crazy because the the incumbent or the retired was my electrical boss.
Oh, interesting. Anthony Allison.
Yes.
Who is not running for re-election. So this is the
Yes.
district that he represents right now. But there is a 3-way race. And so what separates you from the other 2 candidates? I had the good fortune of being the moderator at a debate with the 3 of you a few weeks ago in Shiprock. And so what are some of the things that differentiate you from the other 2 candidates in this primary race?
Well, one of them, I would have to say I'm employed, and I have a little bit more stability, and a lot of ties to the community, not only Shiprock but also Kirtland. And I was born in Shiprock and later moved to Kirtland. And if you look at my family, were pretty well known in both communities. And then being a 30 plus year employee with Dist Fuels, which was BHP, and before then it was Naval Mine. So I've been in this area for quite some time. I'm a union member. That comes along with my job. And not only that, but the parents that I had were advocates of union and labor work groups. And I'd like to continue that. And that's why I, seeing these trends with the energy transition and renewables, I almost left the party because I felt like the party has drifted away from me, and so I didn't want to. I didn't want to be that one that flip flops. I'd rather come back in and start asking these questions and start. Make people really look at what we're doing, and because I feel there's a balance to it.
And things, it sounds to me that you feel are out of balance at the moment. And I know jobs and opportunity for residents of District 4, that's a big part of what you, I think about and talk about. Mm-hmm. And what do you think is the way forward with some of those things? I mean, you talked about the transition. We've seen the closing of the San Juan generating station, and certainly the loss of those jobs and of the associated mine, of course. And so you've seen some of those. What are some of the things maybe that could be done to replace some of those jobs in District 4?
Well, promises were broken. And when it was first said to shutter the San Juan generating and close Westmoreland mine, there was talks about 3 projects, solar projects, that the community and the school district would receive credits and tax credits of. And as far as I know, one is in the works, and that's behind in Kirtland, behind the transfer station, and that project. And I started to get to that during the debate the other evening, and I got cut off. But that project is vast. I mean, it is huge, and the sad part of it, it takes so much land space that. The sad part about it is only a fraction of what the power plant would have given off as far as electricity.
The electricity generated isn't an equal replacement.
No.
Got it.
No.
And it takes up a lot more space. You're right
Yes.
about that. And there's not as many jobs either, right? With
Right.
a facility like that.
Well, the lie I like to think and label is that the jobs associated, they talk about hundreds. Yes, that's pre-project. As far as going in, doing the groundwork, the infrastructure, and getting the panels up. Yes, there's quite a lot of workforce there, but when the project is completed, we're lucky. Ask the developer how many full-time permanent jobs available then, and he said 10, and that was being
That was a big a big idea, I guess.
Yes,
Right?
but really in reality, it's probably about 5. And then the sad part again is it's not 5. It may not be 5 locally because of technology with computers. You can have a controller in another state.
Right.
So that's the lie, and so again, I think that a lot of this information that I do know is only because we've been on the board, we've researched, we've asked these questions, and whereas the community they're continually not fed the whole truth.
Gotcha. Christina Aspaas is my guest this morning. She's a Democrat running for state representative in District 4 in the upcoming primary elections in June. And I wanted to ask you about serving at the legislature. The Democratic Party is the majority party in Santa Fe. And so do you feel that by running as a Democrat, even if you have some differences of opinion with the party, but that could give you some influence in Santa Fe to maybe get some things happening for your district?
Yes. Again, there was a time that I wanted to walk away. Excuse me. And, but at that time, I had my father, Chris Aspaas, was still here, and we lost him to COVID. But my parents grew up and we grew up in the Democratic Party of San Juan. And so that has been really part of our upbringing. And so after talking with him and again, I value union. I value, a lot of the ideas that the Democrats still hold. And I think it's just at a point where we need to start opening up and agree to disagree starts and because it's already showing, it's already in the newspapers, it's already there that solar is not the answer. Data shows that it's just another alternative. It's just another energy source. That's it. It doesn't replace any of the propane, the coal-driven or coal-fired power plant. It doesn't replace any of it. It's just another option.
Understood. Now, let me ask you, too, about working with the other party. Do you feel you could be helpful in maybe working with folks from the other party to get things accomplished in Santa Fe and reaching across the aisle a little bit in some cases?
Yes, I believe those are the, I would like to say, people like Rod Montoya and Bill Scher have been Mark Duncan. And he's the mayor of Kirtland and also a representative.
That's right.
But they have really, even though they're kind of labeled and people say Republicans this, Republicans that, but they have been the ones to reach and ask, how is the school district doing? And if there's things that we need, those were the people that we had to talk to. And
so you've had interactions from your job with the school district on the
yes,
school board.
Yes, and and I have to say, really, Mark Duncan, because it concerns his community also.
Sure.
But I think just through what we're seeing here has really gotten us across those lines and work together. And I'm hoping to continue that because it is important.
Got it. Very interesting. And let me ask you, just have a couple minutes remaining this morning, your thoughts on education, because you do serve on the school board. I would imagine you're very strong proponent of public education, and the Central Consolidated School District is a vast district that stretches hundreds of square miles in this part of the state. And so there are some unique challenges, I would say, to get education to all of those students living in all of those different communities. You know that, as being on the board.
Right.
What's some of the things that the state could do maybe better to support the central schools?
Quit mandating unfunded programs. That has been the biggest hit. And just recently, they're pushing 180 days. And so that adds 2 days to our calendar year. and again, unfunded. And then on top of that, our student count has gone down due to these closures. And we were sitting before all of this about 9,000, and now we're down to 4,000. And so now we're looking at, while we realize as a district that we're overstaffed and top heavy, so we're really looking at that situation. And then it was only through attending different conferences such as National Congress of American Indian and NIEA, so that I come up with this education goes hand in hand with economic development, and I believe that mainly because the lack of it. This is the result. We have low student count, and therefore we can't, some of the, and we are pretty fortunate, I think, before legislatures or before the state had mandated career readiness trades and schooling for our students across New Mexico. We were already doing that as a district. And I give kudos to our former superintendent, Dr. Bowman, Colleen Bowman, and she established Bon Wilson. And so from that, it was kind of like the way School of Energy runs, where a lot of donations were accepted by our industries, our local industries, and our students got firsthand at that.
Nice. A great way to get kids trained and out into the workforce, I guess,
Yes.
if maybe going on to colleges, and in their plan, they can still get some skills to start
Yes.
being productive members of society. So
Right.
that's a good thing. Christina Aspaas, we are out of time. Is there a way for folks to reach out to you or to find out more about you and your campaign?
Well, if you listen to KNDN, right now I'm unfunded. I choose to be that way. I don't want to be obligated to anyone, and
You're not accepting donations, is what you're
well,
saying.
I'm pretty
Self-funded?
particular about it.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
And if there's strings attached, and if I have that gut feeling that there's strings, no.
You send a check back?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
So KNDN is one place. Where,
Yeah,
what else?
and I'll pay for those, and just listen to KNDN and a
You have
person.
some ads running on that station.
Yeah, there's several people that have been asking about a rally, and I kind of want to reserve that until after the primary and see where I'm on a more solid footing.
Right. Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you coming in and speaking with me about your campaign for New Mexico House District 4. It is a three-way race in the upcoming primary, and thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.